All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. All right, one more here. All right, good morning, Cade. All right, let's just practice a couple of things from what we talked about on Monday. Can everybody go to your reactions down on the bottom and give me a thumbs up? All right, good. Okay. Phoebe, Frankie, Natalie, you guys. All right, Phoebe, just unmuting you for a second. Did you, are you having some trouble with that? Because I didn't see a thumbs up from you.
No, I finished that.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I put a thumbs up.
Oh, you put it on. Okay, I see it. Thank you. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Miss Carrie, could you do me a favor today and keep an eye on the, if you see hands going up or things like that for me as I'm going through these things. I'll try and keep an eye on it myself, but if you could keep an eye on that for me as well. All right, let's try a raised hand as well. So that's either Control Y, I believe, or Option Y, depending on the type of computer you have. All right, so it looks like Phoebe got it, Noah, all right, and Natalie, Andrew, Kieran, good job. Cody, yours, you just keep raising your hand. That's good. All right, Frankie, Kieran, good job. Izzy, good job. All right, Jesse, thank you. All right, let's see. All right, Trevor. All right, that's loud. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of things real quick, all right? Because we are going to make at least one change to this on Friday. I said last time that we weren't going to necessarily have passwords for these, but the county is going to require us to have passwords for our classes. So I am going to add a password to your class each day. So where we're going to see that, let me just show you where we would see that on our EDSB page when that happens. All right, so you see here on the EDSB page, right, we've got the, so this is second period, but third period looks the same for it. So right at the top right now, you've got a pinned link to my YouTube channel. So if you miss a Zoom class or want to watch something again later in the Zoom class, you can do that. So that's your link there. And we have the Zoom code here. All right, so that's our Zoom code. I'm going to be adding a daily password to that code. The code I don't believe is going to change. As I said, it's going to be for every day this week. What will change is the password. All right, again, the county is just kind of worried about people just kind of coming in and disrupting things and putting inappropriate things up on the screen and so on. So for Friday, you'll see I'll add it up here. Once I do that password, I'll add it up here at the top. I'll put the repeat the code and add in the password. So the first bullet point under Friday will be your code for Friday and your password, okay? So let me just make sure. All right, so Cody, unmuted you there for a second. Where are we going to find that password for Friday?
Yeah. Edsby.
Okay, where on Edsby specifically are we going to be looking?
Oh, your page.
Okay, on the page and under the Friday link. All right, thank you, Cody. All right, going to come up here to Trevor. Trevor, you got a raised hand. Is that a question?
Oh, wait. I forgot to put it down.
Forgot your question?
No, I forgot to put it down. I thought you said something about, testing to see if the raised hand thing was there.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. I'll put it down.
All right.
All right. So let's take a look. Hopefully you do have your notes, as I asked you to have those out from last week's notes on the slope. Sorry, just letting one more person in. So John's joining us here. All right, so what we're going to look at, I'm just going to go over here to IXL, and we're going to look at some of these sections that I asked you to work on. Hold on, let me get to it real quick, and then I'll put it up on the screen for you. So we did Y1, Y2, and then some section from Algebra 1, which was S20. So we'll look at Y2 first, because that was our first one, and I think the one that probably most people had the difficulties on when doing it. So let's, let me share this screen now that I've got it up for you. All right, so we're going to take a look at this IXL section here. All right, so this was Y2, and what we are doing with that is we're trying to find the slope. All right, and slope again is pretty much what we were doing prior to spring break, where we were looking for that rate of change. If you remember, we had the tables and we were looking to see how Y changed compared to how X changed. That's the same thing we're doing here. It's just that instead of having a bunch of points listed like in those tables, it's just 2 points. So we're still looking for how does that Y change compared to how does that X change, okay? So Noah, go ahead and leave that camera off for me, please, buddy. All right, so let me get to a whiteboard screen. So we're gonna have this set of points. Let me just jot them down here. All right, so we have 10, 6, and 2, 11. So I'm just going to go to a whiteboard screen for you real quick here. And I'm going to stop sharing the IXL for a second and share this new screen. All right. All right, so on this whiteboard, we'll be able to do a little bit of writing, hopefully, if I can get to. All right, so we have 10, 6 was the first point they gave us, and then 2, 11. All right, so anytime we're doing this, if they give us 2 points and they want us to find the slope of the line, all right, 2, 11 is going to be over here. If I'm on this graph, 2, 11 is up here. All right, and then 10, 6 is actually way out here off of this graph. It only goes to 8. So if that's 9, 10 is going to be like over here somewhere. So 10, 6 would be our point up here. Okay. So what I would want to do, instead of trying to sit here and graph these necessarily and count them, is it's easier to just take the points and figure out the difference between them. So if this was in a table, right, it would be 2 over here, 11 over here, and then 10 over here and 6 over here. So if you remember, we were doing this in the table. This was our X, Y values in the table before spring break. We were trying to figure out how is this changing compared to How is this changing? Is it going up? Is it going down? So this is going down by 5, right? And this is going up by 8. So if we're looking for that y to x change, that's what slope is equal to. M is equal to how is y2 minus y1 minus x2 minus x1, or over x2 minus x1. So that change that we just found is -5 over 8. All right, so I think what was happening for some of you guys who were having difficulties with these problems was there was some difficulty in finding the proper order of them, all right, because I was seeing a lot of people doing x over y instead of y over x. All right, so let me just come to Noah real quick. He sent me a message. All right, Noah, let me unmute you here. Noah. All right, that's not unmuting for some reason. Let's try it over here. Let me see if I can unmute Miss Carrie, if this is just an issue that I'm having overall or if it's just with Noah's. Nope, I can't unmute anyone. It's not great. All right. All right, I just unmuted everyone for a moment, so I'm just going to mute you back and see if that solves this. All right, technical difficulty issues with unmuting people apparently. So let's see here. All right. I am going to unmute everyone. If everyone else will just kind of keep all your background noise down for a moment. I just want to talk with Noah because I'm having some difficulties just getting one person unmuted here. So it does allow me to unmute everyone, but not individuals for some reason. So if everyone will just keep their background noise down for a moment, we'll try and get to Noah's question here.
Hey, come on.
Hello?
All right, Noah, what's your question currently?
Where are we in the Excel? What section?
That was Y2 that we were looking at. The one
Okay.
we were finding the difference between 2 points.
In pre-algebra?
Yeah, that was the 8th grade Y2 section that we were looking at. So
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. And Trevor, you had a question as well?
Yeah, can we do it a different way? Is there a different way we can do it besides that
Yeah, I did
to get the
it
answer?
a different way.
What do you mean? Was there a way that you were doing it?
Yeah, and I got it right. Like I was doing changing y over changing x would be like, so let's say for your example, I did 11 minus 6, which got me 5. And I did 10 minus 2, which is 8. It got me -5 over 8. I did it that way.
Yeah, you can do the order in which you do it doesn't necessarily matter. Like for mine, I got a -5 over a +8. If you did it the opposite way, you would have gotten a +5 over -8. So
Okay.
that would work as well.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Before I mute everyone else back, does anybody else have a quick question or are we good? All right, I'll take that as a no on this. All right, so let's go back real quick to our IXL. And I want to look at these problems for Y1 then. I'm just going to go back here to Y1. Right, most people had a reasonably easy time with these. Some, I think it took them a few minutes or a few problems to kind of figure it out. But what was happening is I think people may not have been just counting. because basically what we need to do for these is we just need to count. So if I, let's see if I can just copy this image and put it onto this whiteboard here. I'll be, all right, so let's see if I can do this real quick. Might work like I wanted it to. All right, so I'm just gonna talk about it on this screen that you guys are looking at anyway. Sorry about that. I was trying to get it pasted onto that whiteboard, but it showed up completely black instead, so that wasn't going to be a useful item. So here, that's 1 point on our graph, all right? And what we want to look for when we're doing slope from a graph is, first of all, we want to see if this is a positively sloped line or a negatively sloped line before we actually try to figure out the overall part of this, all right? So let's see if I am able to unmute anyone here. All right, so Jesse, I just unmuted you. Is this line that we're looking at going to be a positively sloped line or a negatively sloped line here?
Positive.
Positive, all right. And why do you say that?
Because it's in the positive section of the graph.
All right, say that a little louder for me.
Because it's in the positive section with the positive numbers.
Okay. That is certainly true. They are both positive numbers, but if this graph had been going down this direction instead, would it still be a positive slope because of the positive numbers?
No, sir. It would be
Okay.
negative.
So what makes this one positive then? Not necessarily just the positive
Going up.
X and Y. What's that?
It's going up.
Exactly. All right. Great job, Jesse. Thank you. All right. So as this line goes from left to right, it is going up. So as X is going up, so is Y. All right. That's what makes this a positively sloped line. So when we answer down here, whatever the number is, it should be a positive number. And that means that we shouldn't have two negatives in it. It should just be two positive numbers in that slope, okay? So we're gonna look at this, and there's a point here, right? And then as we go across, we're looking for the next point that we can recognize easily, all right? That's not a point that we know both values of for sure. That we don't know, that we don't know both, all right? Where we see another point where we know both X and Y is right here. So we have these 2 points, okay? And assuming that everything is the same increments here, right? This is going up by 10s, this is going up by 10s. Once we have that, we can just count, okay? So we're gonna just count up or down from one point to the next. So for this one, we know it's a positive slope because it's going up. So I'm just gonna start at this bottom point and go up 2 and over 3. To get to that other point. So this is a slope of 2 over 3, all right? We're always counting up or down. First and then left or right. So always start at the lower point and go to the higher point. That's usually the easiest way to do it, okay? So if I'm down here, I'm moving this direction, moving to the right normally is the easiest way to do your points, okay? So, let's just see here. I'm going to stop share for a second. Actually open up my grid a little bit so I can see. All right, anybody have a question here? All right, give me a raised hand if you have a question, if you're not sure about how to find that slope. All right, because a couple of you, I think, had some struggles on this, at least initially. So hopefully that, if you still had some questions, cleared it up, all right? Okay, so that was our second section. Now, the section we're going to work on today is Y5. So I'm going to come over here. I think I've got that open over here. I don't want a new tab. Sorry, on my screen, I've got a lot of stuff kind of in the way here. All right, that's Y5. Oh, here we go. Y5. Okay, so on this is the one we're going to work on today. And as soon as we go over this, I'll let you guys get to work on it. So if you want to go ahead and on another tab, go ahead and open this up. And you can probably still just keep listening to me on that and maybe try some of these problems on your own. But follow along with me for a second on a few of these as we go through this, just so that we are sure of how to do these, okay? So first thing we want to do, all right, it says graph the line that has a slope of 4 and includes the point 0, 3. All right, well, first thing I want to do is graph that point because I can't use slope to find anything unless I have a point to start with. So even though it's the second thing they give us, it's the first thing we want to graph, all right? So please make sure that you're graphing the point properly, and because if you graph it improperly, it doesn't matter how well you know how to use the slope from there, you're going to get it wrong on the IXL. So 0, 3 means 0, 4, x, so I'm not moving anywhere on x, and then up 3 on y. All right, so be careful not to graph this point down here of 3, 0. Make sure you're graphing 0, 3. Okay, and now this has a slope of 4. Well, slope should always be a ratio. Okay, it should always be a fraction, which means that I want to make sure what we're doing is not only moving up and down, but also left or right, depending on what that slope is. So this slope is 4. Well, a slope of 4 is really 4 over 1 if we write it as a fraction. So I'm going to go up 4, because that's a positive 4, right? So up is a positive direction. And then over 1 means to the right 1. Okay, so if I check this, my slope is 1, 2, 3, 4 up over 1. Okay, so that is the slope of that graph. All right, let's check hands. Anybody got a question there? All right, anybody got a question about what we're doing first at all? All right, so let me check with John. I'm going to unmute John. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
John, are you?
Yeah. Oh. Can you hear me?
John.
That's Peters.
All right, I can barely hear you, John, if you're there. We'll come back to you. All right, Andrew, going to unmute you. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
All right, so what is it that we need to do first on these graphs? Do we use
So
for the point first?
the point 0 over 3, the 0 is the x value, so you put a point, you go through the origin, and then you go 1, 2, 3 to the 3, and then you put a point there, and then since there's a slope of 4, you have to I guess add 4 like up and make a like kind of intersection there, and then well, I mean, I think it's kind of weird.
Okay, so you were doing a great job finding that 0, 3, all right? From here, what we're going to do then at that 0, 3 is we're going to now use this slope of 4, and we need a fraction for slope, okay? Because slope is always a ratio comparing y to x change, right? So we need to write that 4 as a ratio. So we're going to put technically just sort of think of it as 4 over 1.
For 1.
Okay, so that 4 is our up and down change. Positive, we're going to go up 4. Okay, and then right 1 because of the 1 on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, thank you. Let me get to what looks like a question perhaps from Trevor. And I think Cody looks like he's got one too. Trevor, you got a question?
Yeah, I'm doing the IXL right now, and
Yeah.
the question is, it says graph the line that has a fraction, I think, no, that has a slope of 1/6 and includes the point 0.02. How do I graph a fraction? How do I do that?
Okay, we'll get to that in 1 second because I'm going to do another couple of sample problems.
Okay.
So hopefully the next 1 or 2 sample problems will answer that question for you, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, let's see. I think I got another hand over here. All right, Cody, what's your question?
Yeah. Which one is this? What are we doing?
What section is this?
Yeah.
This is Y5 on 8th grade.
All right.
All right. So that's what we're going to be working on here. All right. I'll be, I think I got maybe one more. Let's see. John, did you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question, but it was Trevor answered it. Like
Okay.
his question was my question.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Let's skip to another section here. Let's go ahead and hit submit. All right. So this one, still similar type of problem. All right. So we're going to jump a level here. All right. You guys don't get to jump a level, but teachers do. So let's take a look at this type of problem. All right. This is the type of problem that Trevor was just asking about, where they're giving you a slope that's a fraction, and in this case, it's a negative fraction, all right, and includes the point 0.09. So first thing we want to do, again, is just graph that point, right? Always start with the point. So we're going to go to 0, 9, right? And at some point in this, they're not going to give you ones that are on the y-intercept here, on the y-axis. They'll give you points out here somewhere. But just graph whatever point they give you and then use the slope, okay? Now, this is a negative 9/7 slope. What I normally will tell you is that that negative doesn't matter whether it goes with the 9 or with the 7, okay? So if it goes with the 9, then I'm going to be going down from this point. So if I just put that negative up, which is usually what I do, I put it to the top, so that's a negative 9. Well, negative 9 means that I'm going to move down instead of up for my slope change. So I'm going to go down 9, which will take me all the way back down to 0 here. Okay, and then the 7 is going to be a positive number, because if they were both negative, this would be a positive slope. So if you see a negative slope, only one of the numbers is negative. So I'm going to move over here in a positive direction, which is to the right, over 7. Okay, so let's come back to Trevor on that question, right, and see if that answers his. Trevor, did that help you out with your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay, good. And let me check in on John as well. John, that helped you out with yours?
Sort of. My question has 1/10. What would that be?
Okay, so 1/10, I'll just do it over here. Let's say, for example, this was the same slope, right? Like, let's say they had a 0.9, but a slope of 1/10, okay? So if they had a 0.9 point and a slope of 1/10, the 1 on top is positive, the 10 on the bottom is positive. So I'm going to move up 1 for that 1 on the top, okay, and then in a positive 10 direction to the right, and that would be my slope of 1/10.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to put this answer back. Any other questions? Give me a raised hand or a hand clap or something if you're confused on any of this right now. All right. So we're going to, all right, so we got a couple of hands. So Noah,
Yeah, I'm on a completely different problem, but I'm in Y5. It says simplify, express your answer using a single exponent, and then it says in parentheses 3c to the power of 3, and then outside the parentheses says to the power of 2.
Are you on 8th grade, or are you in the Algebra 1 section?
Oh, I'm in Algebra 1.
Okay. That's probably,
Okay, let me fix that then.
yeah, so you need to go to 8th grade Y5.
Okay.
All right. Let's see, I think I had another hand here. Let's see. All right, so Trevor.
Yeah, I got one more question. I
Yeah.
got that problem wrong, and it was 1/6. How do I grab that? Like if it's 1/6. Just like with
All right, so,
it's like.
so once again, let's just look at this using this problem that I have here. All right, similar. So let's say the slope was 1/6 instead of -9/7. So I'd still go to the point that they give me. It would go 1, because your 1/6 is a positive 1 over a positive 6. So it would go up 1 for that positive 1.
Okay.
Okay, and then to the right 6.
See, I did that, and I got it wrong.
Was it a positive 1/6?
Yeah.
All right. So what we'll do here in a second, Trevor, is we're going to do some breakout groups, right? And I'll take a look at that problem and see how you answered it and why it was wrong. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's try and skip ahead one more section here. Let me submit. Whoops, I don't want that answer. It's going to tell me it's wrong. All right, so -9/7. That was our answer for this one. All right, so we're just going to skip ahead a level here as well. All right, so see how they start putting us into 4 quadrants. All right, I'm just going to skip to another problem as well. All right, so actually, let me go back a section, actually, see if I can get a different problem than what they gave me. All right, so this is a good one. Okay, so on this one, right, we're going to graph this point first, right? Always graph your point first. So this is a point of -2, right? So we're going to start at our origin and go -2 first. That's our x value. And then up to 10. All right, so that's the point they gave us. Then we're going to use our slope. Our slope is not in a fraction form right now. Okay, if it's not in a fraction form, simply make it a fraction by putting it over +1. So this is a -4 over +1 slope is what we would be using. Okay, so for that slope, the -4 tells me I'm going to go down from here 4. Okay, and then the +1, it means I'm going to go in a positive direction to the right. All right, so that would be my slope of -4, right? We can always tell that this is graphed as a negative slope because it's going down as we go left to right, okay? So let me check in on someone we haven't heard from today. Natalie, I'm going to come to you. All right, let's see if I can get that to unmute. Okay. So Natalie, are you working at this point, or are you just listening still?
Oh, I'm working.
Okay, are you having any questions at this point, or is everything all right?
Everything's okay.
All right. Okay. So let's make sure. Anybody have any questions at this point? Because if not, we're going to split up into some breakout groups here so we can try out that feature. And I'm going to probably just split us into 2 groups here where the guys who normally work with Miss Carrie in class will go with Miss Carrie on this. And and the people who don't always go with Miss Carrie will stay with me here. So Miss Carrie, what I'm going to do, I think, let's see, let's get you unmuted. All right. So I'm going to send, let's see, kind of your regular class folks with you, all right?
All right, sounds good.
All right, before we go, it looks like Cody's got one more question, and then we'll split up here for the last few minutes. What's up, Cody?
I'm on a question that says graph the line that has a slope of 0 and increases and includes the point of -9, 2.
Okay, so I'll just graph that one on this graph here for you. So it says -9, 2, you said?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go from our origin, -9, right? Over here is x, and 2 is our point, right? Now it wants a slope of 0, you said?
Yeah.
All right. If you recall from our notes last week, all right, we had 4 types of slope. We had a positive slope line, right? That's a positively sloped line. We have a negatively sloped line. We had a slope that was undefined, which was vertical lines, and a slope of 0, which is a horizontal line. All right, so it doesn't matter where you put the point as long as your line is horizontal. Okay, so if you have a 0 slope, you would need a horizontal line. Okay, if it was an undefined slope, you would just want a vertical line. Okay, so does that clear that up? That help you out there?
Yeah.
All right, so does anybody else have a question on that type of situation in case you run into it? All right, so let's try this out. I'm going to stop share and see if we can split into some groups here. All right, so all right, so all right, so just assigning these rooms here real quick. All right, so I'm going to open up these rooms. What you're going to see is everybody in your room. It should unmute people as it goes. All right, and then when we come back together here in the next few minutes, it'll mute you coming back in. All right. So if you're having an issue, I'm going to try and check in on both rooms as we go. But Miss Carrie will be in one room with her folks. Okay. All right. We'll see you all in a little bit.
Loud noise.
Yeah, no.
No, I
No,
heard the-
everyone
I heard the
probably
noise.
heard that.
Yeah, it was really loud.
It was like an EMP.
EMP grenade.
Did you hear it in history too?
No.
History? No, I
This is
never,
the
that
only
wasn't
Zoom
there
I've
for
ever
history.
done.
What was that noise?
We couldn't.
He cannot hear it. He's not here.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
You can't hear us.
I'm here.
Yeah.
He is here. Cody.
So when I put you guys into breakout rooms, all right, normally we're going to do this because I want you to be discussing things, or just like when you're working at tables in class, right? I want you
I
to
like that.
help out as
We're
much.
talking about things.
So if somebody's got a question, right, answer those questions. But you do have the ability within these rooms to mute and unmute yourself. But you do still need to follow the same set of rules that applies when we're all together in class, right? We're not doing things inappropriate. We're not putting cameras on. Keep in mind, all of this is still getting recorded as the that occurs, okay? Any questions about what needs to happen in these breakout rooms?
Oh, sir.
All right, sounds good.
It's a line that has a slope of 1/5 and includes the 5 and 6.
Okay, so again, I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see my, because I'm on my phone, guys. Okay, so start by putting your first point at 5. So you're going to go up your 5 and over 6, and put your dot, your point. Okay, now the slope is 1/5. So you're going to go up
Where
1.
do you put 5, 6?
See how we have, oh, my bad. 5, it should be here. Let's take that one off. Over 5, up 6. Okay? So you're over 5, up 6.
5 on the Y and 6 on the X.
Nope, this is the X. So over 5, up 6.
Okay.
You got that point?
Yes.
Okay. Now your slope is 1/5. So you're going to start at your point and go up 1, and then go over to the right 5. 2, 3, 4.
Wait, that canceled out the other line.
5.
What if it's like a solid number?
I'm sorry?
What if it's a solid number like 9?
Your slope is 9? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Then it would be, you have to put it into a fraction. So it would be 9 over 1.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Miss Carrie, when I make one line, then it cancels out another line.
Well, you should only have one line for each question.
But you said 5, 6, and 1/5.
So here's my 5, 6. Okay, so did you put your point? You clicked on 5.
Fantastic.
Oh,
I have a
no.
smart score of 68. So
I'm
close.
Nice
Smart score of
job.
69. Get on my level, John.
Mine's at 80.
Nice.
What if there's a slope of 0?
82. Let's go.
Oh,
And,
then
no.
There's a
I
slope of
don't
0.
know.
the horizontal line.
Any point on the horizontal line.
Oh, yeah. Green.
Oh, I wasn't really
Big
listening.
brain beat, like,
I was too busy
Wait.
doing something else.
oh, wait.
Too busy doing something else. Doing what?
No, I don't want to
Like
click it. It
nothing?
makes no sense.
82.
How do you?
Oh, let's go.
So
This game
if
just
it's
lack.
it says
1,
graph the
2,
line
3,
that has a
4.
slope of 0 and includes the point 6 dash comma 0.
Yeah,
What would
why?
that be? That makes no sense.
So John,
Yeah.
you know how to graph that point, right?
I just lost how to do the point.
If there's a 0 as
Well,
the slope.
Your point is what? 6, 0, 0, 6.
Yeah, 6, 0.
Okay, so where is that? Is that on the x-axis or on the y-axis?
X-axis.
Okay, so you're going to have that point, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm doing
graph
really
that
good.
point.
I did
The
it.
zero slope, right? We talked about this with Cody right before we went into these breakout rooms, that a zero slope is a horizontal line.
Any point on a horizontal line.
So any other point that makes that line horizontal will work.
Absolute potato.
Oh, I knew I got it wrong.
Oh,
I'm so
okay.
confused on why I got that wrong,
I
though.
think this is right. Okay, I got it right.
I'm
Thank
at
you.
84 now.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so good
Right.
at
Andrew,
Yes.
looks like checking my live IXL stream, you're having some issue. You got some questions?
You got an issue?
Yes, I've had several wrong answers.
Okay, so
Yes,
I'm going to try
why?
and help you out. So what question do you have currently?
Okay, so my question says graph the line that has a slope of 1 over 6 and includes the point 0 over 6. I graphed the point 0 over 6. It's just I don't know what to do with the slope.
Dang it, how did I get that
Okay,
wrong?
and your slope is 1/6?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm stupid.
Okay,
So
so
would you
from
put,
that
like-
point of 0, 6, right?
Yeah.
Are you able to go up 1 and over to the right 6, or it won't fit on the graph?
Okay, up 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, you can do that.
It'll fit?
Yeah, I'll fit.
Okay, if it fits, then go ahead and do it that way. If for some reason it didn't fit, what you would need to do is reverse both directions. So instead of going up and to the right,
you'd go
and to the left
Oh.
instead. Okay, so if it fits, go ahead and go up 1 and to the right 6. That's what it's sort of a set of directions is what slope is.
The shoe fits, wear it.
5, 6.
Big brain.
Never mind. I set it up.
9.
I think I did, like, I set it up, but I think,
No,
yeah, I
why
got
did
the
I
right
get that
direction,
wrong?
but I think I set it up in the
No.
wrong point.
Oh.
Did you
I don't
do
think I'm
0,
doing it
6 instead of
Oh.
6, 0?
Why? Why is it like?
No, I put the 1 over, yeah, I got it wrong, so
Oh,
I
I got it
wrong.
question wrong. I was so
Okay, now I have a whole number.
getting
So,
80.
1, 2,
All right, I'm at 80 now.
4, 5,
All right,
6, 7.
I'm gonna bring us all back together before we wrap up this class, okay, guys? So you'll get a
Okay.
notification that we're closing these rooms here in a second, okay? All right, guys, we got just a couple more minutes here, so I want to wrap this up. If you were having trouble, and it looks like a few of you were, keep in mind that Miss Carrie and I both have office hours later today. So if you continue to work on this in your work period, either following this or before our office hours and continue to have some struggles, please come see one of us. All right, mine are from 2 to 3. Miss Carrie, when are your office hours?
The same time, 2 to 3.
Okay, so come see one of us today if you have issue with getting this, figuring this out, okay? Because a couple of you look like you were having some struggles. Please come visit with us, all right? We can help you out in our office hours at that point, okay? So keep working on this. You do need to try and get to a 90. Keep in mind the 90 is your 100% mark. So if you get to an 81 or above, that's an A at least. So if you, as long as I got some sense that you're able to do this, how it works, that's what we're looking for here, okay? So once again, thank you guys for coming in today. I know hopefully these are helpful to you. And if you've got any questions, once again, just come see us in our office hours. It's probably a faster way to answer your questions versus trying to answer them through EDSB messaging, all right? So office hours from 2 to 3 today. Check EDSB for those Zoom codes to find it. And they do have passwords, or at least mine does. So, all right, any other questions before we go? All right, well, have a great day, guys. Thanks for coming in, and we will see you on Friday. Please make sure to do any homework that goes along with Friday's lesson, which you do have a few videos as well. So we'll see you on Friday.
Bye, guys.